Hello, listeners. It's Cole. And today, on the Show of Requirement, a Harry Potter podcast, we have joining me for today only, the one and only David Gonzalez. Just kidding. He's here every day, mostly.
Mostly. I feel like this season, it's great to have 4 people on the podcast because I feel like, especially this season, we have missed 1 or 2 people like every episode. I'm not even sure if we have an episode to where everyone was here. I got to check the catalog and see if that's the case.
I thought we were all going to be here today, but I was mistaken.
Yeah. I'm trying to look. Yeah, so the first episode we were all here, and then since then it's been our final reading of the Half-Blood Prince, we were all here. But there's only been 2 episodes of 9, or this is episode 10. So of our 10 episodes, only 2 times have we had the full team together, which is a shame.
Life happens. What can I say?
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, so Spencer may be joining us later. We'll see. And yeah, so we're covering the Deathly Hallows chapters 16 through 20. We're gonna pick up from that cliffhanger from last week.
Oh yeah.
And then, guys, guess what? I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a cliffhanger at the end of this episode too.
Yeah, 100%.
A bigger cliffhanger. That's better. Maybe, I don't know.
More intriguing,
I'd say more intriguing. The other one was just drama.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, shall we hop right into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So, we're going to start off with kick this episode off with chapter 16, Godric's Hollow. Do you have any thoughts before we just dive right into it, or do you want me to dive right into it? What are we thinking?
I have thoughts, but
all right, well, I can just go through my bullet points here.
Yeah, go ahead and go through that.
So to open it up, Harry and Hermione, they're waiting for Ron to come back after he stormed off, and well, he doesn't come back yet. They're talking to Phineas's portrait to learn about what's going on at Hogwarts. We get some exposition about Dumbledore's army undermining Headmaster Snape. I just wanted to say that.
Snape. There it is.
It's Headmaster Snape to you. Thank you. We get some more exposition about the mysterious symbol. Luna's dad wore it on a necklace at the wedding, and then they talk about the conversation with Crumb and his revelation about it being Grindelwald's mark.
Yeah.
Just a little bit coming back to that, reminding us like, oh, hey, this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Harry and Hermione travel to the chapter's titular location of Godric's Hollow, birthplace of Harry, Dumbledore, and Godric Gryffindor, to look for the sword. And they think that it had been entrusted to Bathilda Bagshot, or Bashot, as I wrote. And David, you know what? It's a Christmas movie. Completely underrated Christmas movie. It's Christmas Eve, Harry, as they say over the graveyard.
So, Cole, I don't remember it because it was so long ago, and it was the worst probably episode we've ever done on Fandom Done Right. But just because of what the verdict was, I think. But are you one of the people who like believe that? Oh, what's that terrible movie with
Die Hard?
Yeah. Do you think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
I don't care. I don't remember, honestly. If it's a Christmas movie, then Iron Man 3 has to be considered a Christmas movie as well.
Yeah, which I don't either. I don't consider that one to be a Christmas. Just like I don't I don't consider Star Wars the Holiday Special a Christmas movie either.
How dare you?
I
All right,
dare.
we're ending the recording.
Yeah, this is it. Goodbye, guys. See ya.
This has been Fandom Done Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, show of
It's,
requirement. So, anyways,
oh.
it's a Christmas movie. They visit the graveyard in Godric's Hollow and find the graves of Kendra and Ariana Dumbledore, um, Ignotus Peveril, with the Deathly Hallows symbol on the grave,
Mhm.
and lastly, they find Lily and James's grave. And then the last thing I have here for my notes is the quote on Lily and James's tombstone is, "The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death." And how ominous
Yeah.
is that? Really a short chapter, just kind of moving the plot along a little bit with a little bit of exposition. But David, what do you think? Thoughts, hallucinations?
Really not in this one. I feel like this one's pretty straightforward. It kind of I do think that the movie did it pretty well. I would say. I think it does it nice beat to beat. Although they didn't disguise themselves as middle muggles in
Middle-aged
the film.
muggles, yes or no?
And so that was probably the difference in this. But it's not a whole lot of.
No, it's just it's almost a filler chapter. I mean, there's, like I said, there's a little bit of exposition in it, but not a ton.
I think the next chapter there's a little bit.
This is, so I didn't realize until I was writing this outline and going through it chapter by chapter that these are some very significant chapters to the whole story, the whole book. As we'll see here in a few minutes. But also, I want to take some time, David. I think you'll appreciate this. Just shout out all the new listeners, guys. So many new listeners. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just had an explosion. David's been keeping better track than I have, but just an explosion of views and new listeners and stuff. So welcome. I should have done that at the top, but it's fine. David, I can't hear you.
Dang it. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we've been doing this podcast for a couple of years now. And YouTube is just something we've recently added within the last year. And, we haven't been getting a lot of views on this, and especially in our earlier, but for some reason, the last 2 episodes, we've just got a flood of new listeners. And so we really do appreciate you joining us and hopping on this train. We don't cover books all the time. It's just been, we're so close to finishing that we just said, hey, let's go ahead and let's get this done.
Let's just
And
charge
then we'll
through
cover, and
Yeah.
we'll just cover new content. We write new stories. We write good fan fiction. Okay. We don't do Potterotica here.
I'm glad you just brought up a fun name, because I have a fun name that I invented in my notes.
Okay.
And I kind of wish Spencer was here for it, because it's kind of a Marvel reference.
Uh-huh.
But we'll see. We'll see if he gets here. He won't get here by the time I get to it, because it's in the next chapter.
Well,
But
has there been
a lot of like people listening to our backlog? Because guys, we do have a backlog. We're on season 6, episode 10. So if you're really enjoying this, go back and give some listens to some of our older stuff.
So we did have one person who commented on our video. I'm trying to pull it up real quick. But we had someone comment on our I think our second episode of our just our previous episode. We had someone comment, and I'll give her a shout out.
And her name is Abby Tooley.
Find it.
Happy birthday, Abby.
It's not. It's Avery, and I'm very sorry if I butcher your last name. I'm really bad at names, but it's Avery
Thickness.
Gummersell. No, 728. She just discovered our channel and she said, just out of curiosity, where can I find seasons 1 through 3? We do have a back catalog of because clearly this is season 6, so we do have several different episodes of the first of seasons 1 and 3 that you can find everywhere you listen to podcasts, which usually we say on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, I think, and a couple of other stuff. But the Show of Requirement, Harry Potter podcast, you can find Arla stuff on there. So yeah, we do have a collection of previous episodes, some that we are really proud of, and others that we're just like, like, I guess this one didn't hit as well. But
Yeah.
hopefully, with all you new listeners, you'll take a listen to all those. But yeah, check out our stuff.
Yeah. So, anyways, now that we're done with that little infomercial,
Yeah.
let's keep on going to chapter 17, Bathilda's secret.
Hmm.
So this is, I think, this is one of the few scenes when I watched the movies for the first time that actually scared me. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about why here in a second. But I mean, it just kind of a rundown. Harry and Hermione find Harry's house. It's now in ruins and it's been untouched for I think it said 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get your thoughts on this. They did say like it went untouched and they said, I wonder why they haven't tried to fix this. And the idea is that because like dark magic was like placed on it or was used in it, like it can't be touched.
Hmm. I So I was actually thinking about that while I was writing this outline. Um, I thought it was more along the lines of the house itself was still enchanted, so nobody could find it. Like,
Hmm.
not that they couldn't find it. They knew where it was, but I thought because of the shoot, the secret keeper, I didn't think wizards could actually come up and find it,
Hmm.
like actually see the house until Dumbledore died,
Yeah.
which would have been a few months prior to this. A few months, a year,
Yeah.
but even then, I feel like it's such a significant part of wizarding history that
Hmm.
it's almost a memorial at this point. And they do have a little memorial on the front gate for the Potters. Um,
Hmm.
so I felt like that's part of why it was untouched. Um, I think you're spot on too with like, ooh, this is where dark magic was used. We shouldn't get near it. Um, I don't know. That's the
Yeah.
simple answers. I don't think there's a way to know 100% for sure.
Hmm.
Um, so that's my take on it. Um, this is where stuff gets interesting. Or I remember backtrack a second. I remember the memorial being a little bit different, but also I've played the Lego games a million times, and so that oh, it's Spencer. He's here on time.
On time is relative.
No,
Time
no,
is
no, no, no.
relative,
On
Cole.
time for my Marvel reference.
Oh, okay.
Um, Anyways, um, but I felt like there was a memorial in the graveyard for the Potters and not on the grave, on the house itself. But I don't
In the
Yeah.
know.
Lego game?
Huh?
In the Lego game?
Yeah, I remember there being a memorial in the Lego game, but I don't remember where it was.
I don't think I've played through all. I mean, I've played it once, I remember, but I don't think that's one of the only Lego games I haven't replayed.
Yeah, I've replayed them all multiple times.
I played 1 through 4 at least twice, but
Twice. Yeah.
not 5 through 7.
That one's I like 5 through 7 better. Anyways,
Oh, it
that's
is
not what
better. It is better.
So yeah, we find this memorial. And then Bathilda Bagshot, I spelt it right this time, appears to the duo, but doesn't speak, and kind of a red flag moment here.
It feels like so many red flags.
Yeah, there's so many red flags.
Yeah.
So many.
She recognizes Harry and Hermione through the polyjuice potion and the invisibility cloak, which is, I guess when I read it the first time, it didn't click. Like, oh, hey, because I had seen the movie before I finished the book. So I was just used to, oh, Harry and Hermione are just walking through Godric's Hollow as Harry and Hermione, not with polyjuice potion.
And it's a bit obvious that Harry's a Horcrux. Like we've been setting it up really for the whole time. But like that has to be the most obvious hint. Like, why isn't Harry figuring that one out? I don't know.
Spencer, you know that we have new listeners. What if they've never read the books?
David,
you just ruined it.
I hate to be a David here, but if you haven't read the book, get out.
No.
There's
We
so many
appreciate your
spoilers.
views.
Get out. And speaking of the new viewers, because I think my theory is that they're fully invested because of the pronunciation of the character formerly known that may be called Pious Thickness. And I have another one. And I don't know if there's actually a difference, but Jim Dale 100% says Bathilda Bagshot. And some people in the movies may say Bathilda Bagshot.
Bathilda, yeah. That's how I've always said it. I've always said it Bathilda.
But it's Bathilda because they call her Batty.
Bathilda.
Oh,
yeah, Batty. Yeah.
I think it's a tomato thing. But
yeah, that one's more
tomato.
Saying
it Bathilda, and my brain thinking Jim Dale says Bathilda.
Bathilda.
It sounds too much like Matilda.
Except for the new audio dramas. I'm sure you guys already covered that.
No, we haven't talked about that.
What are you doing?
We forgot. Well, I didn't make the outline. I just kind of hopped on.
Wait, what did I miss?
Okay, so
you go.
David?
You go.
Okay. They formally announced
that
they're going to be doing they're redoing the Harry Potter audiobooks, but as I want to say 16 voices drama with music. Maybe
I'll take that over a TV show.
They're doing both. I use quotes, which the YouTube people, new viewers, will catch.
We'll see.
I'm excited for it. And I don't know which Harry Potter fan this is for. I know it's for me. Just please temper your expectations. I'm saying it will be good. It will be great. It will be awesome, but it's not going to be like the most groundbreaking thing that you've ever heard in your entire life. Just enjoy it.
I think it's important to tell people to like lower the expectations, because you may be trying to come up with this like insane, awesome thing in your mind. Oh, it's going to sound just like Emma Watson's Hermione or whatever. But like,
we're not Emma Watson fans.
Oh yeah, no, we are.
We are. No, we are.
Washington Sentinel. Screw you. Like we don't care about what you have.
You know
to
what?
say,
you know what? I'm gonna be on the Washington Sentinel side.
I think
you're not. No, you're not.
I think in Washington Sentinel's defense, who are the two examples we give every time we say an actress or actor's name?
That's true.
It's Emma Watson and I said Alan Tudyk. Alan Rickman. Snape. Alan Tudyk as Snape is a great fan casting. Missed opportunity.
Oh my gosh.
That would because he has to. Oh, he would have been a good Arthur Weasley.
He would have been a great Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh no. We
How
should have
about he
done
just does? How about Cole? How about he just does all of the characters of the audio drama?
that would
Andy
be
Serkis
amazing
style.
because I know he can do it. His voice acting is phenomenal. Aside and that's just his voice acting. I'm not even talking about his regular acting, which is also amazing.
Yeah,
Although
but I will say though, just to get us back a little bit on track, and then to get us back on track even further, um, I will say though about the audiobooks, I am, as somebody who listens to Star Wars audiobooks all the time that um have done auto dramas before, like a 16 cast with music and everything. Like those are my favorite audiobooks that Star Wars has done. And so the fact that Harry Potter's doing it, if you go in with like no expectations really and just enjoy it, like it's going to probably be one of the best things to come out, especially if you didn't like Fantastic Beasts.
And Cole, go ahead.
did they do because this is the only Star Wars book I've ever actually read. Did they do that for Ahsoka, or was it just Ashley? Whatever. What's her
No,
last
on that one it was just Ashley that
Okay.
does it. The ones to where they've done full cast was like Dooku Jedi Lost, which is insane. They've done it with Tempest Runner, which is a High Republic book, and that was awesome. They did it with the Battle of Jeddah too, which is another High Republic book, and they're going to do another one of the Tempest series.
Oh, they go back
So
to
they've
Jeddah?
always been good.
Yeah. I have not.
They go back to Jeddah when it's like in its prime.
That would be interesting. That actually does sound very interesting.
And if none of that means anything to you, and for whatever reason you have seen this, they recently did that with the Dune books in like 2015, 2016.
Is it memeable? Because I don't want anything to do with Dune unless it's memeable.
No, it's not memeable.
Then Cole doesn't care.
It's pretty good. The only thing, I feel like that gives more validity to the TV series actually, because they did the Dune ones because the Dune movie was in early development. I don't know. But there's great. I mean, Jim Dale will always be beloved for me. Stephen Fry did a great job. And then, I mean, I like the one actor audiobooks too.
It's
I feel
great.
like it helps kind of carry you through it, almost like someone is reading the book for you, but like one person.
But the music is what's going to be, I don't know why I'm holding this like a wand, but the music is going to be a really beautiful thing. Like I might cry.
Yeah, and I kind of hope, I almost
cry.
hope it's new music.
I do too. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Special shout outs. I didn't know the Ahsoka actor voiced her own book, but Andy Serkis does the Lord of the Rings books.
Yeah, he does. Great
if
stuff.
I had J.R. Tolkien's writing, I would get through it, but I can't. I keep getting stuck.
I'm right with you, Spencer.
I tried skipping to Fellowship of the. I did Hobbit, and then I tried skipping to Fellowship of the Ring, and I'm still bored. Love the movies though. And then David, I don't think I've told you this. I found out the Hunger Games novels are voiced by Tatiana Maslany.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Who was not in Hunger Games, but she's She-Hulk among many.
She is a special place in our hearts for the Marvel movies.
Yes. She plays Jen Ballin on a budget Walters.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but that's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled Deathly programming.
Back to Pathilda.
Okay.
Godric's Hollow.
So second red flag, she takes him back to her place, and let's just say it was gross. Or as I put in my notes, it is ew.
Yeah.
Is this the most gruesome Harry Potter gets?
I think so. I don't know. Do we want to count the zombies things in
Infuries?
Yeah, the Infuries.
That wasn't really gross. It was just
morbid.
Wild. It's just very morbid.
Yeah,
This
'cause
is
they're like
gross. This is
yeah, 'cause
disgusting.
This is disgusting.
yeah, because they were like bloodless. So somehow slightly less gross, but it's all
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
this and then the Voldemort Horcrux baby in King's Cross.
Yeah, that
And
one.
they committed 110% to it in the film. I
Yes.
applaud them for that, I guess. But
So yeah, it's gross. Harry looks around at the walls, and there's a lot of pictures missing from their picture frames. And he finds Rita's book, Rita Skeeter's book, and is like, "Oh, that's probably where all the pictures went, was to go into this book." And this is where we get some more exposition on Grindelwald and Grigorovich. Just a little bit, not the full story yet. So then Harry follows Bathilda, whatever, upstairs alone. And I'm coining this phrase as an MCU reference, but Harry has a Voldy vision.
He does. And it's an intense one. Oh my
And it's an
gosh.
intense one. I was trying not to laugh in class when I was writing this and I came up with Voldy vision, but it did make me chuckle.
gosh,
So
it's
anyways,
like 5 pages.
he has a vision.
Yeah.
And Nagini comes out of Bathilda's body and attacks Harry.
Oh, I was talking about the Voldy vision after that.
Yeah, I was talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I thought that's what you were talking about.
There's another Voldy vision after that. He has like 3 different ones in this chapter.
And honestly, I feel like JK was just trying to find a place to put this in the book.
Yeah.
And she was just like,
Yeah, I agree.
smack it
Yeah.
there. Because
I mean, it's a
it
good
makes
place. I feel like this is as good a place as any to put all that.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it is relevant to what's going on. Just to kind of see it from Voldemort's perspective in real time.
Yeah. What's crazy is that obviously they do this scene again in The Cursed Child. This is kind of how like they wrap up the story, is especially when they go back in time and they have to like make sure Voldemort goes and does what he's supposed to do. Then you, with Harry,
now be a good
have
little dark
to-
wizard and go do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but like I'm when I tell you that like I cried so hard when you are, because you don't see it, because the way that it happens is that Voldemort comes down the stage and goes into the audience in the middle row, and he's just walking towards the light, and then you're hearing the screams and of Lily and James and Voldemort and all of that, and you're just hearing it. And when I tell you that like I was like bawling my eyes out, like everyone in that theater was bawling their eyes out, because it was like emotionally just wrecking to have to, like, you have to live that moment out with Harry. And I didn't even think about this until I read it this time, but this is the second time that Harry has to experience it.
Mm-mm.
You know, and that's why I love this podcast structure, is David and I take the emotional drive, and Cole's like,
Cole's
be
like,
a dark little wizard,
yeah,
go kill the people,
Go kill
and fail to kill the baby.
yeah.
What can I say? I have some really morbid humor.
It really bothers me that James doesn't have his wand. Like, so much. Why would he run to the door?
Ooh, foreshadowing.
His wand?
Yeah. So can I ask you a question, Spencer? Like, didn't you change that when you rewrote the Marauder series? Like, you put the wand in his hand and made him like put up a fight with?
I might have,
or
not on
like,
purpose.
I thought, because I was thinking that when I was listening to it, I was just like, man, I feel like I feel like, because I think you said you did that because you thought it was lame that James didn't have his wand and didn't put up a fight, or like,
It's
somebody
possible.
said that James put up a fight against Voldemort, or something along those lines.
Yeah, kind of. I think it was like, it was either yes that I believe that, or B that my headcanon took over.
Which
And
I
was
agree with
just-
your headcanon. Because when I
I was
read this
trying-
one,
yeah.
this was just kind of like, oh, this is awful.
Like,
I don't
come
like
on
this
now.
at all. Yeah.
Come
It's
on,
really
James,
just
you're
bad.
better than that.
It's just really sad.
Yeah. But yeah, the vision was, I think you guys are right. I feel like JK felt like, okay, it's time for you guys to experience it and see the whole thing play out.
Mhm.
And this is where she decided to put it.
And so that vision happened. That Voldy vision happens after they disapparate.
Yeah.
And
I
then
kind of like that the movie kind of skims over the fight itself a little
Right.
bit and keeps it nice and quick and fast paced, so you don't think too much about the gruesome details of it. Although there is that one shot of Matilda going. I knew Cole would have. That was for Cole. That was just for you.
Yeah, that's definitely wasn't for me.
I don't know if you guys talked about this polyjuice potion versus not polyjuice potion.
a little
We
bit.
did mention it. We mentioned it. I'm okay with how the movie did it. It didn't
Yeah.
bother me.
Because the book, it kind of takes away from the scene.
The emotion, yeah, it does.
And the
Like
Jim
with the whole
Dale-
wreath thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and Jim Dale does a because the movie has different rules for the voices too when they are in
Mhm.
Polyjuice Potion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the book, they take on their voices, which makes sense because they take their vocal cords. But yeah, so that when Jim Dale does the scenes, it's like two other people are talking to each other, not Harry and Hermione.
Two randos talking to each other.
Granted, it's kudos to Jim Dale for finding voice number 701 and 702 just to throw up there. Like he's got a new voice for every single character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kudos to him. But
So, two more things that are important to this little section is he has a third vision kind of connected to that second one where he relives the flashback. But Harry had the picture of the thief and dropped it, trying to disapparate, and Voldemort picks up the picture and is like, "Oh, this is who I've been looking for. Thanks, Harry. You gave me the final piece of the puzzle."
Yeah.
and then he takes like 3 months to find the guy.
Yeah.
Skip ahead.
Yeah.
Um,
Spoilers.
And then the last thing that I have for this chapter is Harry's wand is broken in the escape. So, rip
For now.
for now. Anything else for you
Spoilers.
guys? Yeah, spoilers.
Y'all are killing me.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Just to
Nothing.
transition us to chapter 18.
Yeah. Transition to 18. The life and
sad, Harry. I'm all sad.
Another short chapter, but this one's it's short, kind of like the first chapter of this section, but this is a very, very important chapter to not this book, but into the entire all 7 books. This is kind of a pinnacle point of all 7 books. So Harry's angry and terrified about his wand breaking, and he feels that he has no defense against Voldemort now, because he felt that is it Priori Incantatum, because their feathers or their wands had the same core in it, that was like his only defense against Voldemort, and that's why he's terrified.
He's wrong, thankfully.
And he's wrong. Spoilers, he's wrong. But yeah, so he's also very angry at Dumbledore. It starts off as a very hairy, emotional, heavy chapter. But then we get into Harry's mad at Dumbledore for not giving him all the information he needed. And because he accidentally gave Voldy the piece of information, that single piece of information he was needing. But like you guys said, he does nothing with it for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So then Harry he stole the book from Bagshot's house, Rita's book, and this is where Grindelwald enters the picture officially, and we get Dumbledore's backstory in full. So like I said, very
A
important
version of it.
At what?
A version of it.
Yes. And I was about to get into that because I mean him reading this really changes everything Harry Potter thought and knew about Dumbledore. However, Hermione reminds him that there could be a little bit of embellishment due to Rita being a proven liar and isn't afraid to tweak some details to provide a juicier story for her readers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talk about a baller line to end the chapter about Ariana with. Is it possible that Ariana Dumbledore was the first person to die for the greater good?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh.
She knows how to write.
She does. She's dropping bombs.
She got bars.
Mic drop.
Yeah, I love this chapter so much. Obviously, because I'm a huge Albus Dumbledore fan. He's one of my favorite character in this entire series. I love Fantastic Beasts, especially the more Dumbledore we focus on in it. So this kind of brings back those great moments in the Wizarding world. But I could also understand Harry's frustration, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, calm down a little bit. Like, you're 17. He was what? 120 or 150? Give or take a few years? Like you can't expect
to know everything
or for Albus Dumbledore to entrust that kind of stuff to a 17-year-old, 16-year-old at the time.
Yeah, he's he's 17, right? Because the house had been abandoned.
I'm talking about when
he was
Harry
when
died,
he died,
or when Dumbledore died. Yeah, he was still 16.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm just like, okay, calm down. But he's also 17.
It's also the same guy that has said at length in Order of the Phoenix that he doesn't tell him things because he wants to protect him, and it's like it's like one of his fatal flaws is his love for others, including Harry. So of course he wouldn't tell him some of these things. I was thinking about Fantastic Beasts actually because it's a shock to everybody and it's a big surprise that Dumbledore had this friendship with Grindelwald. But in Crimes of Grindelwald, the movie, they go to Hogwarts and the first thing they say is like, we know you were closest brothers to Grindelwald. And he's like, oh, we were closer than brothers and so yada yada. It's like, was it more well known then? And it just faded over time? Because you think a juicy thing like that would just carry on through.
Stick with you. Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's just like a couple of them felt like
because he beat
like in
Grindelwald,
the Ministry,
they just
or like in the Ministry, they probably were like, oh yeah, they're like super close, but maybe to like the rest of the public eye, it was, oh, they're acquaintances, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to go down too far down that hole.
Yeah. No, and I think it's like JK just wanted to write more stuff, and I didn't really get lost in those details. But they did do a magic PowerPoint in that scene, and then they did it again later in the same movie. Love magic PowerPoint.
Oh my gosh,
it's my favorite.
So I think that wraps up this pretty brief chapter, but very, like I said, very important chapter.
I like Aberforth, and it's because I've read the whole thing. But Aberforth gives us another version of virtually the same story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it really builds it all together.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to probably the lengthiest chapter in this section, probably one of the more, probably not as intense as Batilda's Secret. But this is chapter 19, The Silver Doe. Harry and Hermione are back to camping. Cue the cringy song and dance.
Not in the book. Not in the book.
Or is it?
It's not. It's not.
Harry is keeping watch and sees a Patronus, specifically a silver doe. He follows it to an iced-over pond where the sword of Gryffindor has been hidden. Harry strips down, and breaks into the ice and... Oh no, he's underage. Never mind. We're gonna have to axe that.
No, we can't.
He's actually he's overage, Cole.
Oh, he is.
He's overage in there. Yeah,
there. Okay.
Over there. We're doing it by British law.
Magic law.
So he breaks the ice, dives into the water to retrieve the sword, but the Horcrux has another plan. It strangles him and makes him black out and prevents him from getting the sword. And oh no, it's all lost. But then Ron shows up, saves Harry, retrieves the sword. He begs Harry to be allowed to rejoin the quest. And then we have Harry. It's like, Ron, you're the one that retrieved the sword. You got to kill the thing. So Harry speaks parcel tongue to open the locket, which is something I forgot. I thought they just flipped it open and saw an eye or something. I don't remember.
He does that in the movie too, actually.
That's what happens.
Parcel tongue.
Oh, the parcel tongue? Okay. And the
love this scene in the movie.
Oh, it makes me
so
giggle
good.
because of the behind the scenes. So the locket opens and tries to convince Ron not to destroy it. It tells Ron that brings to light all of his darkest fears in front of Harry, specifically being the least loved child in his family, and that that Hermione wants Harry over him. And then, Ron succeeds in destroying the locket and makes up with Harry. After Harry makes sure Ron knows that there isn't a love triangle going on. New listeners, we did an episode over the love triangle possibility. So go back and find it on wherever you listen
or
to your
the
podcast.
lack thereof. I was gonna say this passage is some people's Hermione. Like Hermie. I can't. I don't have
Hermie. Yeah.
Hermie fodder, but they're wrong. They're very wrong. I mean, and the book spends a little bit longer to discuss because Ron is kneeling by the destroyed Horcrux, and Harry says, "After you left, she cried for a week, probably longer. Only she didn't want me to see. There were loads of nights when we never even spoke to each other. With you gone." "She's like my sister," he went on. "I love her like a sister, and I reckon she feels the same about me. It's always been like that. I thought you knew."
Hey, as long as he loves her like a sister and not like he loves Ron's sister.
I thought it was, and you just made me think of it with a pang. It's just so sweet that he just looks at Ginny's dot on the Marauders map. That gets me right here,
Anyways, moving on. So the two return to the campsite and Hermione attacks Ron. When she is subdued, Ron recounts his story and how he had been captured by Snatchers but escaped, which is something I forgot, I guess, because I've only read the books twice, so I just assumed he went off to a pub somewhere or something. Because I think that's where he does. He pulls out the Deluminator when Hermione asks, "Hey, how'd you find us?" And explains how he heard them talking about him, and then reveals that there was a light that took them to their approximate location, and then the silver doe appeared and took him the rest of the way to Harry. But I don't remember him being kidnapped by the Snatchers. I just assumed that he walked away and didn't really have that
more
much of
cornered than captured, but
right.
Mm-hmm.
the book just balances a lot of things really well in this chapter.
Yeah.
I mean, that line that I brought up from Harry, the Horcrux, when Harry and Hermione come out of it, is still speaking in Voldemort's voice.
Gross.
Yeah.
Which I would have loved to see from Ray Fiennes. And then the other thing is that JK is just like so genius. Is just in the movie, it just kind of feels like the Deluminators like speaking to Ron or something, but they literally didn't say Ron's name for weeks. And so literally the second the Deluminator starts working is the second they say Ron's name again.
Right.
It's just really well designed and planned out. But this whole chapter, I was just going, Snape, you dog.
You dog, Snape.
You dog, Snape. So good.
And then
I hate to say it, but he's really redeeming himself in this book for me.
Yes. Last thing I've got for this chapter before we move on to the final chapter of this section is that Ron gives Harry a spare wand he nicked from a Snatcher. And that's about all I've got. David, do you have anything? Or
yeah, I do remember thinking through this section of like, oh, Snape's the one who did this. Like, you got to keep that in mind. And so, yes, to this point, I'm with Spencer. Like, even book Snape seems okay. He seems all right. Because even if we go back to the previous section that we read when we figure out about the sword, about, even what the punishment was for, Ginny and the crew, it wasn't really that severe. And he makes the switch regardless. He knows that it's like, I know that Harry says, oh, like, luckily Snape was so stupid that he didn't notice it was a fake. It was like, no, he knew. Again, on Dumbledore's orders. And I love how we really don't get to see Snape as much as this one, but we recognize his effect that he's having up to this point. I'm just interested to see, especially when we get later on to the books and we start seeing him and hearing the things that he says and see his memory. Sorry, spoilers. But like once we start getting into all of that, like I'm going to see if the opinion that I have that book Snape sucks and movie Snape is amazing, to see if that continues. But yeah.
It fell apart for me. So as I was telling Abby, I read the whole book and too quick, and then now I'm reading it again for the second time, basically in a row. Prince's Tale. Yeah. Spoilers, but Dumbledore's talking to.
No.
Fine.
But Dumbledore dies.
The Prince's Tale is
no.
Every chapter at the end.
Stop.
Every chapter at the end is just a banger chapter.
Banger.
That's not a spoiler.
Hey, I'm gonna let him talk about it because I have in the past been really bad about skipping ahead.
We have
children on the podcast.
Dumbledore's trying to talk to Snape as he's heading out the door to get the sword to them, and Snape goes, "Don't worry, Dumbledore. I've got a plan."
Anyways,
so then reading
20.
this again, I'm like, Snape, you dog.
I'm covering my ears, but unfortunately I have headphones on, so it just made it sound better.
Chapter 20, the chapter where the word Plimpy is said way too many.
Agreed.
Ugh. Is Spencer frozen for you?
He's frozen for me too.
I like that shot though.
It's a great shot. It's gonna be like a.
That's gonna be the thumbnail.
David when it's gonna be a meme. It'd be like David when Spencer reveals a spoiler. It's moving all crazy
chapter
around.
20, Xenophilius Lovegood.
They don't even read the tale in this chapter.
No, they don't.
No,
But
they
it's
don't.
still-
It ends on a cliffhanger, which we love. We
Yes,
love the
but
cliffhangers.
Not much happens in this chapter.
No.
No, we
Uh,
just kind
almost
of see
nothing
how much
here.
of a goofball Xenophilius is, really.
Yeah.
And a coward,
And a coward. Kind of.
kind of.
Yeah. So Ron and Harry are optimistic about the destruction of another Horcrux. Or no, this is the first one that they know that they've destroyed, right? Because they don't know that the book was a Horcrux, right?
No, they knew.
They do? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They destroy the diary's destroyed. The ring is
The
destroyed.
diary.
Tom
this
Riddle's
point.
diary. At
Tom
this
Riddle's diary.
Yeah. They know. I think they know about both.
point. Okay.
So now they have 3 Horcruxes destroyed, and they think they have 3 more to go.
They
Mhm.
think.
Yeah.
That was their mistake. So there's a little bit of exposition from Ron about the trace being placed on Voldemort's name and that anybody who says it can be tracked.
Should have put that in the movie.
Yes. Hermione suggests that they should go seek out Luna's dad, Xenophilius, which I just love that name. That's a cool name.
It is a cool name.
So
She's
find
clearly
Xenoph-
been backpocketing that name for a while.
Yeah. She's been waiting for that one to come out.
Xenophilius.
So they travel to the Lovegood home, which I like the description of the Lovegood home. That'd be my kind of place.
I just love Ron's. Ron's great in this
Ron's
book.
great in this part.
He's
This
trying to
is
make up
Ron's-
for it. Yeah.
Well, this is Ron's
is-
best book,
Yes.
I think. But he's like, it looks like a chess rook. A castle to you.
A castle to you. Then calling back to Philosopher's Stone, very nicely, putting a little reference for each book, and just to wrap up this series.
It's really true. That does reference every book. They even reference Chamber of Secrets in a upcoming chapter too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they travel to the home, and Xenophilius tries to send him away. He's like, I don't want to see y'all. And Ron's like, so you're gonna support Harry in your newspaper, but if he shows up at your door, you're gonna turn him away, kind of thing. And he lets him in. Luna's not home, which is a red flag. And Xenophilius is like, oh, I'm gonna go find her real quick. She's out fishing. And
Gone fishing.
Gone fishing. Fishing for grip hook.
Gone fishing.
And then Xenophilius asks, what do you guys want? And then they say, well, can you explain what the symbol on your necklace is? And he goes, oh, this is the Deathly Hallows. Chapter ends.
Which is this whole book is kind of interesting because it completely balances Horcruxes and the Deathly Hallows. And I think I just didn't know, I guess. I think I had heard about parts of this book and that the Deathly Hallows were not the Horcruxes themselves, but I wonder if people thought before this book came out and they knew the title that the Deathly Hallows were the Horcruxes.
As being an outsider when this came out, I just assumed it was something. Actually, I remember exactly what I thought it was. I thought it was something devilish. Because that had been that was the consensus back when these books came out for my family, whether these books were the devil.
And in their defense, the book is called Deathly Hallows.
Deathly Hallows. Yeah.
And Half-Blood Prince. They're excellent They're excellent book titles when you think about the books in hindsight. But
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did Cursed Child after that.
But yeah, so that's all I've got on this batch of chapters. If you guys,
It's it's a cliffhanger, David, but it's not exactly like a bold ending point for this section.
It don't.
Can't hear
I was
you.
kidding. I was just trying to confuse you guys. No,
Dang.
I did that on purpose. Yeah, no.
How
Yeah, it
dare
definitely isn't. It's not the same cliffhanger as when we ended this reading last week. I feel like that one was a better cliffhanger than this one. This one's just kind of more of just like, are you kidding me? Like, you're gonna stop there, kind of cliffhanger. But
And that's right, listeners.
Next
We
week-
are going to stop here.
yeah, next week is not gonna be a better cliffhanger either. It's not really a cliffhanger. If we really were gonna do a cliffhanger, we'd stop after chapter 23.
Oh boy,
But
is that when
we're
a
not.
certain little
No,
somebody meets
no.
his?
No. Spencer, you have a problem.
I think I do. I'm gonna see.
I'm gonna have to put like a
about
spoilers alert. I'm gonna put it explicit on this one. And the explicit
Not
stands for
explicit. That's
spoilers.
how you lose listeners.
Gonna get a counseling. for
Spoiling Spencer.
How was your week,
Spoiling
Spencer? I just
Spencer.
can't stop spoiling.
Yeah.
Han Solo dies. Oh, no.
Hey,
Hey, did I ever tell you guys? I don't think I've ever told you guys. My cousin ruined The Force Awakens for me.
I ruined
He
it for
told
That was
me
before we met, though.
before,
to this
way
day,
before we met.
to this day. He still holds a grudge against me. Like you, I'm not going to repeat what he would say, but he's like, you spoiled it. And he saw it before
Yeah.
I did. I saw
Spoiled
it
it.
on I saw the spoiler on iFunny of all places. If that, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
That's
that
a
long.
throwback reference.
That is a
Yeah,
throwback.
that's
The kids will not
real
know
throwback.
that one.
Back in the golden age of memes, back when they were, funny.
Back when they meant something.
But yeah, I think that really that wraps up this section. Unless you guys have anything else.
Great
don't think
stuff to
so.
come.
Yeah.
Amazing chapters to come.
You hear
After
that,
next
Cringes? Some amazing chapters to come.
Yeah, he's about to stick his butt in the camera here in
Nah,
a second
he's-
if we don't end this soon.
Yeah, if you don't end it soon, the butt cometh. So, all right. Well, I guess if that's that, then thank you guys for listening. Thank you, new listeners. Let's see how many new listeners we can get for this episode.
Share with your friends.
Yeah, share with your friends. I share with my friends. I don't know. Maybe
you guys
that was-
are my friends.
that. Yeah, because you can't share it with us because we're already here.
Yeah, you guys are already here.
So,
Yeah.
With that being said, on behalf of David, Spencer, and the gone but not forgotten Abby, this has been the Harry Potter show of requirement. I haven't done this one before. David, help me out. Phone a friend.
Yeah, it's been the show requirement. And until next time, when we cover the next section where somebody dies, spoiling Spencer, we'll be back. Hopefully, mischief managed.
Marriage managed.
Everyone dies.